Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and a very good morning to Dr. Anis. We are from Group 2, RBA2424B. We present about our second assignment, which is comprehensive analysis of the last day of trading. Our group consists of 5 members, which are me, Aslam Azim binti Abdullah, Alia Masara binti Adnan, Intan Shafira binti Abdul Latif, Kaisara Mizawazuna binti Muhammad Zaki, and Nurul Azira binti Samsudin. We will explain about 5 stocks, which are Supermax Corporation Berhad, Kosan Rubber Industries Berhad, Telekom Malaysia Berhad, PK Group Berhad, and Acostek Berhad. For the first stock, which is Supermax Corporation Berhad, the code is 7106, and it is under healthcare sector and healthcare equipment and supplies industry. This world-class latex glove conglomerate is a prominent international maker, distributor and marketer of high-quality medical gloves, and is listed on main board of Bursa Malaysia Securities Berhad. Supermax now sells to more than 160 nations, which are trusted and recognized by laboratories, hospitals, pharmacies, doctors and surgeons all over the globe. Supermax Group manufactures up to 24 billion pairs of latex examination gloves each year. I use 5 indicators for this Supermax Corporation Berhad stock, which are Williams Percent R, RSI, ROC, Stochastic, and MACD. For the first chart is Williams Percent R indicator. On 31st December 2020, this indicator shows buy signal where the indicator is below the oversold line, which is negative 80, and it rises to cross over the negative 80 line. For the second chart is Relative Strength Index RSI indicator. On the 31st December 2020, the indicator shows buy signal, and where the RSI indicator is below 30, where it is the oversold level. And next, for the third chart is rate of change ROC indicator. On 31st December 2020, the indicator shows buy signal where ROC indicator is quite downtrend and it is below zero line. For the fourth chart is stochastic indicator. On 31st December 2020, the indicator shows buy signal where stochastic D percent crosses over stochastic smooth percent D from level below 20. And lastly, for the chart number 5, which is moving average convergence divergence MACD indicator. On the 31st December 2020, the indicator shows no signal because the lines of MACD blue line and signal red line not crossing each other but still below zero level, and investors can still buy on this date because the lines stay below zero level, but they can also wait until the few days where we can see the line crosses each other below zero. And if they want to sell, they need to wait for the next sell signal where the line crosses each other above zero level. Okay. Overall, I can conclude that investors can buy this Supermax Corporation Berhad stock on 31st December 2020 because the 4 out of 5 indicators indicates that there are strong buying signals, which are for Williams Percent R, RSI, ROC, and Stochastic. As for MACD, there is no signal, just MACD has no signal, but still investors can buy because the price of stocks at bearish and low. If they did buy on this date, they can still sell in January, where most of indicators show positive signal on sell signal, and the price of stock also higher. Okay, for the next presentation, I will pass to Alia Masara. Thank you.
Thank you, Asna Mazni. Next, the company that we choose are Kosan Rubber Industries Berhad. It is the Malaysia-based company engaged in investment holding, manufacturing and sales of rubber products, and provision of management services to subsidiaries. Kosan Rubber Industries Berhad is under the industrial sector and the industry of industrials product. It is under the healthcare category in the Bursa Malaysia. The company operates through 4 segments, which are technical rubber products, gloves, clean room products, and others. The diagram shows the technical chart of Kosan Rubber Industries Berhad stock price movement with double moving average indicators. Buying and selling signals happen when there is interception between moving average 20 line, which is the red line, and moving average 50 line, which is the blue line. If the red line crossed above the blue line, it is the buying signal, but if the red line crossed below the blue line, it is the selling signal for the investors. Based on the diagram, there is no interception between the red and the blue line on the 31st December 2020. That means it is not the right time to buy or sell stock at that day. If the investors wanted to buy the stocks, they need to wait until the indicators show the bearish signals, while if they want to sell the stocks, they must hold the stock until the price show the bullish signals. The second indicators are moving average convergence divergence, which is MACD. The diagram 2 shows the technical chart of Kosan Rubber Industries stock price movement with the MACD indicators. To decide where is the best time to buy or sell is when the both lines are crossing each other. If the MACD line crossed over the signal line, it is the signal for buying. But if the MACD line crossed below the signal line, it is the signal for selling. Based on the diagram 2, the red and the blue line crossed above the signal line on 31st December 2020. That means it is the best time for investors to buying the stocks, since that shown the bearish time due to the lower prices. The investors that want to sell the stocks should hold the stocks first until the price movement shows the bullish time when the price increase. Move to the next indicator. The diagram shows technical chart of Kosan Rubber Industries Berhad with rate of change, which is ROC indicators. For deciding to buying or selling the stocks is based on the ROC line intercept above or below the zero. If the line crossed below the zero, it is a signal for the investors to buy because of the downward trend, while if the ROC line intercept above zero, it is a signal for investors to sell because of the upward trend. Based on the diagram, on 31st December 2020, the lines are intercept below the zero. That means the investors should buying the stocks since indicators shows the downward trend at the bearish time. For the fourth indicator, which is Relative Strength Index, RSI, to deciding where is the best time to buy or sell is when the both lines are crossing each other. If the RSI line below 30%, it is the signal for buying, but if the RSI line above 70%, it is a signal for selling. Based on the diagram, the RSI line is below 30% on the 31st December 2020. That means it is the best time for investors to buying the stocks since it shown the bearish time due to the lower prices. The investors that want to sell the stocks should hold the stocks first until the RSI crossed above 70% when the price movement shows the bullish time. Lastly, the diagram shows the technical chart of Kosan Rubber Industries Berhad with the stochastic indicator. Buying signals happen when the K% line crosses over the D% line in the oversold area where it is below 20%. If the K% line goes down and intercepts the D% line in the overbought area where it is more than 80%, it is a selling signal for the investors. Based on the diagram, on 31st December 2020, the K% line crosses over the D% line in the oversold area where it is below 20%. That means It is the best time for the investors buy the stocks since it shows the bearish time. But if the investors want to sell the stocks, they must hold the stock until the price show the bullish signals when the K% line goes down and intercepts the D% line in the overbought area when it is more than 80%. Now, I will pass to the next stocks to my friend. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum, my name is Intan Shafira binti Abdul Latif. So I'm going to explain about Telekom Malaysia Berhad, where is a large company in Malaysia where it is under telecommunication industry and it was established in 1984. At the beginning, Telekom Malaysia Berhad was the national telecommunication company for fixed line, radio and television broadcasting services in Malaysia. But as time has passed by, Telekom Malaysia is now has evolved to become the country's largest provider of broadband services, data, fixed line, pay television and network services. As at 2014, Telekom Malaysia has a total of 2.23 million broadband subscribers, which is unified, and it has become Malaysia's first high-speed internet or fiber optic broadband services. Telekom Malaysia (OTM) also has represented as one of the largest government-linked companies in country, where the company has more than 28,000 of employees and a market capitalization of more than 25 billion. So the first indicators that we use on Telekom Malaysia Berhad is double moving average. Based on double moving average indicators, on 31st December of 2020, it is suggested for the investor to hold their stock first, as there is no interception happens on moving average 20 and moving average of 50. The investor need to wait for a little bit more time until the moving average of 20 is below moving average of 50. Then when the time has come, it is suggested for the investor to start selling the stock as the selling signal does happen. However, the chart above does show the uptrend movement. So the investor should hold and wait for a moment as the stock show the positive reaction. For the next indicator that we choose for Telekom Malaysia Berhad, it is the Relative Strength Index or RSI. According to the chart, at the date of 31st December of 2020, the RSI line is above the 30% line and it also almost reached above the 70% line. So it is suggested for the investor to sell the stock during that time as the stock also show the downtrend. But they also can wait if they want to reach more profit, as the RSI line might reach above 70% in the next movement. The next figure shows the technical chart for Telekom Malaysia Berhad as at 31st December of 2020. Based on the chart, it is suggested for the investor to buy the stock as it is at the bearish time. This is because the ROC line is clearly below the zero. So if the investor wants to start their investment, this is the right time by buy more of the telecom stock and wait till the ROC line to going up above the zero. The chart trend of Telekom Malaysia also does show the positive trend as it is going to upward. So investor could use this bearish time on 31st December 2020 to buy this stock and sell it when it start to enter the bullish market. The next indicator that we use to analyze Telekom Malaysia Berhad stock is stochastic. Based on the stochastic oscillator chart on 31st December 2020, we can say that the price is between 80% and 20%, whereas it's not in the area to oversold or overbought. But as we look into it more closely, the line trend is more to reach at 80% during that time. So it is suggested for the investor to buy during that time as the price is a bit lower. However, the investor also is suggested to hold the stock as the price could reach more higher on the next day. Thus, the investor should monitor the chart pattern to ensure that they can gain some profit during the bullish movement if the chart start to rise at a certain time in the future. So for the next, it shows the technical chart of moving average convergence divergence for Telekom Malaysia Berhad as at 31st December 2020. For this indicator, when MACD line across with signal line, it shows the buying signal. But as we can see on the chart, it does not cross each other and interception does not happen. So it is suggested for the investor to hold their Telekom Malaysia Berhad stock and wait until the both MACD and signal line across with one another. This is because if investors do hold their stock first during that time, they could gain some profit when they start to sell at the interception time.
Thank you, Intan. I am Kaisara Mizauzuna Betty Momazaki. Now I will present about the last day trading on 31st December 2020 of PK Group Berhad. PK Group Berhad is mainly involved in design, manufacture, distribution and installation of leather for vehicle seat covering, and supplies of leather cut pieces to the automotive leather upholstery industry. Besides that, the company sector is primarily in the business of investment holding. There are two segments of the company primary business activity, which are automotive and aviations. The company also exports its products and services to the United States, Australia, and Japan. Okay, now let's continue about the technical analysis of PK Group Berhad. Firstly, double moving average indicator. This chart shows PK stock price movement where it has an uptrend and downtrend. For double moving average, buy and selling signal happen when there is intersection between moving average 20 and moving average 50. Based on this chart, on 31st December 2020, it showed that there are no buy and selling signal as there is no intersection happen on the day. It means it's not the right time for an investor to buy or sell their stock, as it will not give profit for them if they buy or sell the stock on that day. If investors at that time have the stock, they need to hold it until the moving average 20 cross below the moving average 50, which indicates a selling signal. Therefore, if investors want to sell their stock, they need to wait and hold their stock until the price movement shows a bullish signal. Next indicator is moving average convergence and divergence MACD. Buy and selling signal happen when the MACD line crosses below or above the signal line. Based on this chart on 31st December, the MACD line and the signal line are not crossing each other, and the MACD line is above the signal line. It indicates that the investor should not sell their stock, but they need to hold to gain profit in the future. The investor can sell their stock when the MACD line goes below the signal line. Next, for relative strength index RSI indicator. The RSI is measured when the RSI line crosses the oversold line and goes up above 30%. It indicates buying signal, while if RSI line crosses the overbought line and going down below 70%, it indicates selling signal. Based on this chart on 31st December 2020, the RSI is in the between of oversold line 30% and overbought line 70%. This means the investor need to hold their stock as there is no selling signal at the time. Therefore, investors need to hold their stock to gain profit and wait for the possibility of selling signal in the future. Next indicator is rate of change. ROC is measured by analyzing the price either above or below the zero line. If the ROC line is less than zero line, it indicates a buying signal and it indicates a downtrend. However, if ROC line is over the zero line, it indicates a selling signal and indicates an uptrend. Based on this chart on 31st December 2020, the ROC line is above the zero line. It means the investor can sell their stock at the time as it is the bullish market. Thus, it is the best time for investors to liquidate their investment in order to maximize their profit. The last indicator is stochastic. This chart shows PK stock price movement where it has an uptrend and downtrend. For stochastic, the buying signal indicates when the K% line crosses over the D% line in the oversold area where it is below 20%, while the selling signal indicates when the K% line goes down and intersects the D% line in the overbought area where it is at more than 18%. Based on this chart on 31st December 2020, the investor can sell their stock as there is a selling signal on the day. This is the perfect time for investors to sell their stock because they will earn profit. That's all for me. I will pass to the next presenter.
Thank you, Kaisara. Now I'm going to explain about stock from Acoustic Berhad. Acoustic Berhad started off as a company that was mainly engaged in manufacturing of audio speaker products in 18 October 1999. In 2015, Acoustic Berhad started to involve in real estate industry, and now they have turned into a company that mainly engage in development and management of real estate projects. The first indicator that we use to determine the buying or selling signal for acoustic stock is double moving average indicator. We use a 20-day moving average and 50-day moving average to indicate buying or selling signal for acoustic stock. As we can see in the technical chart, there is a bullish crossover when the shorter moving average, the red line, is crossing above the longer moving average, the blue line, before the beginning of 2021. It is said that when the shorter moving average has crossed above the longer moving average, it indicates that the trend is shifting up and hence it is best for investors to buy acoustic stocks at the time. This is also known as a golden cross in technical term, in which it indicates a long-term bull market going forward. Hence, investors should buy the stock at the end of 2020. The second indicator to determine the buying or selling signal for acoustic stock is MACD indicator. From the position of crossing between MACD line, the blue line, and the signal line, which is the red line in this indicator, we can figure out when is the best to buy or to sell stock. Based on the technical chart, we can see the MACD has crossed above the signal line at a position below 0 in between the date of 21st and the 28th of December. This indicates a buying signal. Therefore, investors should buy acoustic stock at the end of 2020. The third indicator that we use to determine the buying or selling signal for acoustic stock is Commodity Channel Index indicator. CCI is commonly used by the investor to measure the difference between the stock's current price and its historical average price. When the CCI is above 0, it indicates that the stock price is above its historic average. Conversely, when the CCI is below 0, it indicates that the stock price is below its historic average. As we can see from the technical chart, the CCI line has surpassed 0 in between the date of 21st and the 28th of December, which indicates that the price is starting a new uptrend. Hence, we can say that it is definitely a buying signal for the investor. The fourth indicator that we use to determine the buying or selling signal for acoustic stock is Chaikin Money Flow indicator. CMF is helpful to determine the buying pressure and the selling pressure of a stock over time. As we can see in the technical chart, the blue region represents a buying pressure and the green region represents a selling pressure. On 28 December, a blue region started to rise, which indicates that it is the best time for investors to start buying acoustic stock. The last indicator that we use to determine the buying or selling signal for acoustic stock is rate of change indicator. Through the stock price, ROC will measure the rate at which the stock price changes from one period to another. When the stock price is rising, the ROC line will move upward and become positive. Conversely, when the stock price is falling, the ROC line will turn downward or become negative. From the technical chart, we can see that on 21st December, the ROC line has started to rise and surpass the 0 level before 28 December. Therefore, it is best for the investor to buy acoustic stock at the end of 2020. To conclude, it can be said that as an investor, there's a lot of technical indicators that can be used to help us analyze the stocks in the market. By understanding how these technical indicators work, it helps investors and traders to develop strategies on their own. From our perspective, by understanding how these technical indicators work, we are able to use it in doing technical analysis towards our selected stocks, and therefore it helps us in determining the investment decision for the stocks on the date of 31st December 2020. Besides that, through this subject also, we learn to analyze the price movement and its trend before doing any investment decision. This is definitely a valuable and useful knowledge for us as a financial student, and we will try our best to interpret this knowledge into something that could benefit all of us. Thank you, Dr. Anis, for teaching us this subject.